Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a what I read in a week video. So I'm just going to bring you along every time I read and how much I read, and we'll do a little roundup at the end. Right now I have a few admin jobs to do, so that's not very fun, but I will be reading later and I'll bring you along and I'll show you what kind of books that I'm reading. It's also fun because I have officially finished my summer TBR and it is the 15th of July. So hopefully I'll get through more books this year than I originally had hoped for. If you don't know already, I set myself a task this year to minimize my TBR to between 10 to 15 books. My physical TBR of books I currently owned. I started out with 70 this year and I'm down to 26. So I'm in a really good place. I only have to read 11 more books to be within my 10 to 15 bracket, but obviously I hope to go further than that. Like if I have 5 books at the end of the year, that would be amazing. But that is the plan and that's kind of the goal, and that's why I'm so focused on getting physical books read. Okay, I'm gonna go do what I have to do, the boring stuff, and talk to you guys later. So I am now starting to read, and the first book of the week is The Phone Box at the Edge of the World. I am starting from the first page, so we'll see how much reading I get done today. This is about a phone box on a windy hill in Japan that people travel to, and they can call people who have passed away and have conversations with them. And Yu loses her mother and daughter in a tsunami, and so she decides to embark on a journey to this phone box. But there she meets a man called Takeshi. I apologize for my pronunciation, but he, the bereaved husband whose daughter has stopped talking to him in the wake of their loss. You know, that with grief the people often don't have the words. And so what happens next will warm your heart, even though it will feel as though it's breaking, apparently. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to start now. I have to say the font is very, very forgiving. I have the audiobook to this as well, thanks to BorrowBox. So I have a feeling that it'll be pretty easy to get through. Inspired by a true story. Excuse me. What's this? Okay, I have to investigate what that's about, because how is this a true story or inspired by a true story? Okay, I have to investigate that. But I'm going to start reading it. We'll get back to you when I know about the whole true story bit of it, and I'll give you an update on how much I've read. So I am just over 100 pages in, 105 to be exact. I'm hoping to hit the 190-ish mark today. So I'm about, end of the day with about 50% of the book done, and I can finish it tomorrow. And regarding it being based on a true story, what caught me, I was like, in my own head, I thought this was like a fantasy kind of magical realism type story where they could actually talk to the dead through the phone call or through the phone box. That's not the case. There just exists a phone box where people go and they talk to people they've lost through the phone, and they feel it to be therapeutic, which is fair enough. But there is no magical realisticness to this. So yeah, I was just confused about how it could be based on a true story, because I took this to be kind of a magical story. It isn't, but nonetheless very heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. That is it for today. I'm going to call it a night and continue reading tomorrow. See you then. Hey, happy Tuesday. So we're continuing with reading this today. I'm on page 193, so I'm hoping to finish it. And we'll see what my next read will be after that. But just finished the book. I will talk about it more tomorrow, but that is book 1 done for this week. It is Wednesday, the 17th of July, and I have not read anything yet. It's now like 8 o'clock, so at night that is, so I should probably do some reading. Just a quick recap before I move on though. I finished The Phone Box at the Edge of the World last night, and I gave it 4 stars. It's a very moving and heartbreaking yet heartwarming at the same time story about this man and woman who moved through grief. The grief of losing loved ones and finding solace in each other, but also dealing with that grief separately, and how it continues to crop up in their lives, throughout their lives. That, you know, grief is not something you get over. It's not something you go through and you can continue your life without it. It is a reoccurring theme once you endure that loss. So it was very good. 4 stars for me. It is Thursday the 18th of July, and last night I started reading In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. I was lucky enough to meet her, and I have a signed copy of the book. As you can see there, she signed it. I really admire her as a person, so finally getting to read this book was high on my priority, and I was glad that I finally started it. I'm halfway through. I got to page 144 last night, so I'm hoping to speed through the rest of it today. I read Her Body and Other Parties before and quite enjoyed that. I think this is even more enjoyable, not the right word considering it chronicles her relationship with a woman that turns abusive, so it's an abusive relationship. Really interestingly told, kind of true metaphors, like Dream House as a road trip to everywhere, Dream House as star-crossed lovers, Dream House as menagerie, Dream House as famous last words. It's very interestingly told. Carmen Maria Machado is one of the nicest people in the literary world that well, to be fair, everyone's been nice, but she's just so generous with her time, and so she's one of those people that are just really warm. They have a warmness about them. Anyway, I'm gonna read. I finished In the Dream House, and to be honest, everything I said in the last clip still is relevant. I gave it 5 stars. Not the easiest read, not a happy subject matter at all either, but very clever in how it is written, and I'm so glad I finally got around to it. Hi, it is Saturday the 20th. I started reading this last night on the 19th. I got this far into it, so I'm nearly done. It is an essay collection by Rachel Cusk, Coventry. Coventry is probably the most interesting of the essays. It's the second in the collection. I'm not going to remember this a lot. I feel like it's very metaphorical, her writing, and it's above my ability to comprehend, unfortunately. I just feel like I'm missing a lot. Nonetheless, lovely to read her writing, because she's an author I've been trying to get around to for a while, but I don't think I'm going to be holding on to this collection when I finish it. I'm nearly done, as I say, so I'm going to finish that today, and that'll be it. I reached page 162 last night, so okay, so I finished it and I feel the exact same. This is above my comprehension. The latter half anyway. The essays are about specific texts or specific authors that I'm not familiar with. I might have heard of them, or I've interacted with some of their text, but not the text that she's talking about. So I don't know, it just went over my head. Not bad, but okay. Not really sure what I'm gonna rate this, because I feel like 2 stars is mean considering it wasn't bad. I didn't get it, you know. Maybe 3 stars. It was enjoyable enough, but I knew as I read it, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Some John Banville next. Let's go. Hey, it's Sunday. I am currently reading The Lock-Up by John Banville. Reading this, I like myself a good mystery. I don't know why I read them. I don't know why I don't read them that much. Like, it's rare. I'm also fighting the urge to reorganize my bookshelf in terms of genre, because the whole colour rainbow thing is really hard to maintain. So fighting the urge on that. Hello everybody. So just a little roundup of everything I read during the week. We started off Monday and Tuesday with The Woman at the Edge of the World. Gave that 4 stars. Really poignant and gentle exploration of grief and the unlikely bonds that we may forge during that time. Then Wednesday and Thursday we had In the Dream House, and that was not an easy read but a very impactful one. The way it's written, Carmen Maria Machado chronicles her experience in an abusive relationship, but she does it through metaphor and symbolism, and it's just very uniquely told, and it's very impactful as a result. Dream House, I gave that 5 stars. Coventry by Rachel Cusk, I gave that 3 stars. I've just found that I didn't know what she was talking about. Obviously, you have to be a very well-read individual, and I feel that I am, but perhaps not on more older texts or more intellectual texts, and I've kind of got the impression that in order to know what Rachel was on about, you needed to be that way educated. And then the final book that I read, I'm currently reading. I started this Saturday night, I think. The Lock-Up by John Banville. I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't gotten too far into it. This amount of it read, 119 pages. I say it'll probably even out at about a 4 star, but I don't know yet, so I can't really say, but it's quite good so far. Basically, this woman died by suicide, but the detectives are surmising that perhaps it's staged, that she didn't actually, herself, and that she was actually murdered. Right now, I don't know anything else. I think my favorite character is probably the victim's sister. She just getting to see her grief, and also grief from the perspective of somebody who might not have even been that close to the victim, like they weren't close siblings, but nonetheless she's grieving her sister, and that's a fascinating concept to see. Otherwise, I don't really have too many thoughts, but because, as we say, we're at the beginning of the mystery, evidently she did not off herself, and that she was murdered, otherwise there wouldn't be a book written about it. Like, that's the whole premise, but I don't know. I don't have any, guess who could be or anything yet. Imagine now I actually finish it and it is the sister, after me saying that she's my favourite character, but I don't think so, because she lives in a different country and she wasn't in the country and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to end the video here. That was a week of me reading. I read 3 books and started a 4th. I would have gotten it finished only yesterday. A few different things came up unexpectedly. So anyway, I'm gonna go now, and I shall see you in the next one.